You can be doing this. You can be the next generation of scientists. My name's Pete Edwards. I'm the Director of Science Outreach at Durham University, and I work with the astronomers in this building. So I work with a small team of scientists here who basically are evangelical about the science that we do in Durham. Our mission is to take the science that we do here out to the people of the North East and inspire them and engage them and enthuse them, basically. It's astronomy, right? What's not to like? There's a strong history here, actually, of local astronomy groups, amateur astronomy groups, and I hate using the word amateur because they're anything but amateur. Hobbyists have discovered all sorts of things, actually. A lot of near-Earth objects have been discovered. So the asteroids that are going to destroy the world, they're picked up by the hobbyist groups, and they can alert NASA and people to track them and see if they are in fact going to destroy the Earth. They never do. Durham is at the cutting edge of astronomical research in the UK, and I think the astronomical community know that. But I'm not so sure the people of the North East do, and that's one of the key roles of my team, myself, is to get out there and tell them. They should be proud of what we're doing at the university here and at Net Park. We build equipment for some of the best space telescopes. We use those telescopes from around the world to analyse data, and we try and understand the universe with our computers here too. And it's something that people aren't necessarily aware of. I go and work with a lot of primary school kids. And the perception is that scientists are geeky, strange, unusual people. I couldn't possibly be a scientist, and that's just nonsense, right? I'm living proof that you don't have to be special to be a scientist. So it's a key message, as well as there's some exciting science going on. Cosmology is an ology, so it's the study of something, and cosmology is the ology of the cosmos. The cosmos is an old word for the universe, and so cosmologists are trying to understand the universe. They study the universe. But they try and answer the big questions, so that, did the universe have a beginning? What's going to happen to it? What's it made of? How does it work? And they're really the fundamental questions of science. Science is progressing, and our understanding and knowledge is definitely increasing. But that is partly driven by technology. We use computers to build models of the universe. We play computer games, giant computer games. And the success of those models, the success of those games, depends upon the power of the computer. Computing power in the last 20 years has gone crazy, and so the things that we can now do with our models, with our games, have just increased beyond all imagination, actually. We have many more eyes on the universe, if you like. Back in the day we had optical telescopes, so telescopes that just looked at the light that we can see with our eyes. Now we have telescopes that look at the heat from the universe, look at the radio waves, look at the X-rays even. So the X-rays that people use in hospitals, the universe is full of those. And we can look at those too. And so one of the things that we can do now is combine all those different views of the universe. And that's giving us a better picture of the whole thing, actually. The new kid on the block in terms of telescopes is the James Webb Space Telescope. The James Webb Space Telescope is a telescope that looks at the heat from the universe, and that will allow us to look back even further in time to the really early stages of life of the universe and tell us more about that. As to what we're going to discover, you can't answer that, because every time we build a new telescope, we discover things we didn't know we were going to discover. And that's what makes astronomy a real joy, actually, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. In this field, I've been lucky enough to travel the world through conferences, meeting other scientists, and where the telescopes are, of course. The biggest telescopes in the world now are in Chile, in the Atacama Desert. The reason they're there is because the sky is so clear and so dark. So they're the best sites. But I've been there, and I've worked in Australia too. The reason I came to Durham, actually, was because I knew I'd have the opportunity to go to Australia and work there on gamma ray astronomy. We go into schools basically and just share the science. The ones that are switched on by it are the ones that we need to work with. We need to make them understand that you don't have to be Albert Einstein to be a scientist. You don't have to be special. There are lots of people in this building who are just ordinary folk who have lives beyond the science. They go to the football matches, etc. You don't have to be superhuman. You just have to be passionate. We're all passionate about trying to understand how the universe works. A lad from a working class background of coal miners. I'm the only person of my family to ever go to university, to go to higher education. Because I was passionate about the things I saw around me as a kid, I wanted to learn more about the space and the universe, and sort of made it happen for myself. But that I'm living proof that you don't have to be privileged or special. You just got to be passionate and want to understand more stuff. The most amazing thing about the universe for me is its sheer scale, its immensity. I mean, I think it's impossible for human beings to actually get a handle on how big the universe is. It's just vast. But the thing that keeps me grounded, if you like, is the fact that if you imagine having a grain of sand on the end of your finger and holding your finger at arm's length, Imagine how much of the night sky that grain of sand blocks out. It's going to be a really tiny patch of sky. That patch of sky contains around about 10,000 galaxies. So not stars, but galaxies. The universe is vast, it's enormous, and we're a very tiny part of it.